Welcome back, everybody. We have our second series here on this lovely balmy Friday night here on VCS English. We have the eternal kings of Vietnam taking on the eternal paupers of the VCS. GAM taking on 𝘀𝘀cie. I am joined by two of the smartest I could find at short notice, 𝘀𝗶𝗹𝗀 and 𝘁𝗁𝗏𝗀. How are both of you after our first series today?
I perhaps am the only person that's stupid enough to be up at 5:30 in the morning to cast VCS for free, but yeah, I'm not rethinking my life decisions.
Man.
Yeah, I mean, you probably should be rethinking a few things. Hey, if you want us to pay him, too bad, because we're not.
It's not that we don't have the money; it's that we don't want to.
Anyway, it was a bloodbath of a first series when Saigon took on BTS, but Saigon did end up asserting themselves over the lads from the clouds. Now, GAM got off to a bit of a bad start this split. We expected that they would be dominant, as they so often are, but it didn't happen. So, 𝘁𝗶𝗶𝗹𝘀, what went wrong against Cerberus?
Well, the thing is, they went up against the best team in the split. That's in the league. That's just unfortunate from GAM, but they didn't do themselves any favors. They hit us with some pretty questionable drafts, and because of that, weren't really able to get the sort of big advantages as individuals, which they sort of relied on for the past 3 years now, ever since 𝘁𝗏𝗏 came back into the league after his gap year abroad, basically. But because ever since then they've just been the better players. Now it stumbled a little bit against Flash in 2020, but overall they were still top of the league, top 2 at minimum.
Mm-hmm. And 𝘀𝗏𝗏, it was a little bit of a different one up for 𝘀𝘀cie. They did not get off to as good a start in the split sorry. I just had a bit of a mental blank. Ignore me, I had my teams mixed up. 𝘀𝘀cie did get off to a good start, as they did beat BTS. What do you think of this team? What do you think of their prospects for this split?
So, we expected highly of them when they came out of the promotion tournament. They fell flat because 𝘀𝗀 and 𝘀𝗀 existed. Not ideal. And their rookies, well, actually, to be quite honest, 4 of their 5 positions were pretty horrible throughout the entirety of the split, which is why 4 of them are currently off the team now, and we have a
3.5
different stash. 3.5. I mean, yeah, 𝘀𝗀𝗀 was in and out of the roster with like 𝘀𝗀, but like the starters at the beginning of the split, 4 of them are gone, and for good reason. It seems like they finally come together with the roster that they probably should have been fielding from the beginning, or something close to it. Their bot lane looks a lot better improved. Most importantly, I mean, 𝘀𝗀𝗀 set himself up to look like a superstar. I don't know how anyone beats 𝘀𝗀𝗀, but apparently 𝘀𝗀𝗀 was able to figure out the formula enough in week number 1.
Gank Ryuk, that's how you beat 𝘀𝗀𝗀.
Evidently, yeah.
Yeah,
That's
kind
not
of
fair.
is.
How do I make $1 million? Well, just have $1 million. Oh, I mean,
well, how do you make $1 million? Have $1 billion and then invest in crypto.
Yeah,
One thing that we have all observed about GAM is their drafts looked pretty terrible. I have been pretty underwhelmed with the way they've picked. 𝘁𝗶𝗶𝗹𝗀, do you want to break down some of the issues you have with the champions they're playing?
I think the big issue, granted we haven't seen much, I mean, we've seen the one series, is that their solo lane champion pools, especially the mid lane, is starting to look a little bit sus. We went for, the first draft was by far the most egregious, where we had set Galio as your solo laners, which was really weird to see. Galio has been a crutch pick for the VCS, and then 𝘁𝗏𝗏 moves entirely away from his standard style of playing these sort of roaming supports, where the Galio fits in naturally to the 𝘁𝗁𝗏, which is easy to play, so he didn't exactly look terrible on it, but he didn't really have the impact, and they fell back to their new AD carry 𝘁𝗀𝗏 to really be the deciding factor that actually carries it through.
Yeah, what do you think about so far about how GAM have been playing? Well, I mean, obviously it's just the one series, but how did you think about the way they played things out, Rebel?
I'm not I talked about this I think a little bit off camera before. I might not have with any of you, unfortunately. But basically, when you've got like the players that you have on this roster, and you've got 𝘁𝘁, who's not the most heavy ganking jungler in the entire world, I almost expect this to be like a hard late game team where they're just like, all right, we're just gonna mitigate everything you tried to do, and then when you take it late game, you're playing 5 of the best players in the league. And they've got late game stuff, and 𝘁𝘁's out farmed you because he's stealing farm through the through the third dimension somehow from Froggy. And if all of that comes to a full culmination, like it's impossible to stand up against GAM. So they had 2 games where they took these early game compositions and were disastrous, or 2 games without any engagement, 2 teams without any team fighting setup, and it's why? Like, what are you doing that for? Like, there's absolutely no reason to do that. Like, set yourself up for success and give yourself compositions you can team fight with, because it's the easiest way to just take wins with this team.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's look over to the other side. 𝘀cie Esports, they are up against it. Even though GAM did lose their first series, it's still GAM, right? I think we still have them ranked at least in the top 3 if people are getting spicy. How does 𝘀cie actually take a game or a series off of GAM?
So I think the big one is 𝘀cie did look extremely calm and collected whenever they got the advantages against BTS, and were actually able to sort of snowball quite comfortably. They played slow, they played methodical. 𝘀cie_Queen was able to get really nice advantages and transfer it extremely efficiently to his other laners, which was beautiful to see. So you need to, I think, attack GAM early, get the leads, because GAM have looked a little bit shoddy in the early game. So go there, hit them at where they're weak, and just try not to make any mistake that would let GAM get back in and rely on, we are individually good. Also, hello Style.
Yeah, we are into draft. As you said, Style has come back in. Not exactly what we expected, but perhaps after the stumble in the first series, GAM want to change things up. As we do see Nidalee taken away from 𝘀cie_Queen, it makes sense he is somewhat of a one-trick 𝗀𝗋ₛ being traded for Graves and possibly a Kennen. What do you think so far, Mr. Fox?
I mean, they're powerful picks. This already gives away that it's probably going to be Graves in the jungle. I am curious if 𝘁𝗏 could run that. We know that GAM in the past has been this team that's taken every AD champion that's not a mid laner and made it into a mid laner for whatever reason. That was thanks to 𝘁𝗏 to start with. Yeah, they could also do that. It would be a little bit curious to see. I don't want to see Graves jungle. I guess 𝘁𝗁's the only person I'd be okay with it like happening on, but you saw what happened. It was a little slow in the earlier phases of the game, and again, that's been GAM's weak point for 𝘀cie to try to exploit.
For sure. Let's see if they can continue exploiting that, as 𝘀𝑚isfortune locked away, as well as the Jace there. This is a fairly strong long-range composition being put together for 𝘀cie so far, but it's an incredible team fight comp for GAM. As we see mid lane bans coming in, it makes sense. Get rid of 𝘁𝗏's Galio, something he will default to basically whenever it's available. Marby, how would you like to see this draft being rounded out?
So on the side of GAM, I need to see a little bit more of again, a little bit more of extra engage to go with. You can't just rely on the Kennen to be the difference maker. So a nice big playmaking support, something along the lines of a Leona. Although if you do find something that can make a really big engage from the mid lane, Singed is the spicy one at the moment. But something like
patch too early.
Something that could be that if you can facilitate mid lane engage, maybe you're flexing the Kennen into the mid lane and you pick up a Jarvan in the jungle or something weird like that. Then you can run into the go for something like a Braum, which would do a lot to shut down 𝘀cie's comp, but it's not really. But that would require a lot of draft flexing that I don't think GAM has in their back pocket. Though B just does love Braum, so he might just go for it anyway.
Very true. Rebel, what are you thinking? How would you like to see GAM potentially close this one out quickly? And, of course, 𝘀cie's final pick of their jungler rather.
I mean, in an ideal world here, now your 𝘁𝗏 isn't in a great position. So if they've got the flexibility to put it mid lane, I'd like to see it somewhere else, just because they want to attack this Jace, and like the combination of 𝘁𝗏 with a Graves is never going to get it done. But they don't. They just go back to Ryze. It opens up so little, and they were hovering the Talon earlier, and I think they just insta-locked it, which makes so much sense because now, I mean, you're talking about Misfortune, Graves, 𝘁𝗏. Like, there's so many people to attack across this map, and especially if Blazes, he's able to get priority in his lane to begin the game. Probably see a little bit of action with 𝘁𝗏 towards Blazes just to make sure the TF is out of lane. All of a sudden, you pair Gold card with 𝘂𝐶𝐶 from Jhin, 𝑐𝐶 from Leona, and all the burst damage out of Talon. And again, it's a weak early game from GAM that's just absolutely exploited and has a really difficult time getting off the ground to start with.
Absolutely. I think this is a bit of another draft stumble here for GAM. I'm really not sure what they have with this Graves jungle. It's just, I mean, VCS English was ahead of the curve saying Graves jungle was bad. But I think we kind of aren't even just cranks yelling about it anymore. Perhaps we are just pre-cogs. 𝘀𝗶𝗶𝗹𝘀, what do you think about how these compositions have come together and how they interact?
But 𝘁𝗏 has pretty much picked up the better version of what Buffalo ran in their last game. They just have the exact same picks, but with a much more impactful jungler in the Talon compared to the Graves. Again, yeah, they're just revealing the Graves flex that early is just never a good idea. Yes, you do get a 𝘁𝗏 out of it, but then you've rounded out the comp, and the 𝘁𝗏 remains your only engage beyond some weird, wonderful realm warp nonsense with a 𝘀𝗀𝗰𝗀𝗀 follow-up. So I think they've left themselves very little options to get going.
For sure. And Rebel, before you do head off, what is it? Is it going to be GAM, or is 𝘀𝗀𝗰𝗀𝗀 going to get the upset?
GAM is outranged. They have no way of forcing engagement, and they lose this game early. I'm giving it to 𝘀𝗀𝗰𝗀𝗀.
It's very, very bold. 𝘀𝗶𝗶, do you agree? Do you disagree?
I mean, this is definitely 𝘀𝗀𝗰𝗀𝗀 are definitely set up to do so. You can't 100% count GAM out, but they didn't exactly play to the top of their level in their last series. But
that's true.
So I would be leaning towards 𝘀𝗀𝗰𝗀𝗀. Yeah, I think this is their shot.
Well, we will say goodbye to Rebel for now. It is going to be myself and 𝘀𝗶𝗏𝗀𝗀 bringing you the game once we do hit Summoner's Rift. There's a lot to talk about here. Style back into the lineup. What do you think has prompted that? Just we lost once, we may as well try something new.
I think giving him a run against a team that like 𝘀𝗀𝗰𝗀𝗀 is not the bad idea. I am a little surprised myself that 𝘀𝘀𝗰𝗀𝗀𝗀 that you have like a sub in almost every position, I think, except support, and you go, all right, we need to make a change. Let's sub out our best player. It's bold.
Yeah, it's harsh.
It's really bold. I mean, well, 𝘀𝘀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀 was the best performing player from that series. I wouldn't expect Levi to go. 𝘂𝗏, I don't know. 𝘂𝗏 didn't exactly have much of an impact at all in that first series. So maybe you throw in a 2T just to really shake things up. I don't think you should change the roster at all. Style is fine, but I think 𝘀𝘀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀 is just a better player. Maybe the team as a whole feels more comfortable with Style because they don't feel the urge to play towards the bot lane. But I mean, not that in this composition, you kind of have to play towards the top lane, I think, to really put 𝘂𝗏 in a position that even if he doesn't get a perfect ult, he will still be that far ahead that he will just tear through a pretty squishy 𝘀𝗀𝗰𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀 lineup.
Yeah, I think part of it is I think they want to play a little bit more fluid with who's their AD carriers, whether it's Style or 𝘀𝘀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀. The one problem with that is that there are about 4 champions that can actually viably go bot. So it doesn't really matter who your AD carry is. Every AD carry can play every ADC champion. Jokes aside, it is going to be hard for GAM to get this running. I think Rebel is right. This is a bit of a draft kingdom from 𝘀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀. We are still waiting to get into game.
Long break.
There's tech issues. There's always tech issues.
Yeah.
Here we go.
And never mind.
Okay. If we might want to just go to a little bit. Okay. Never mind. Production angry at me. Well, we've got plenty to talk about, though, as we can zoom out a little bit to the whole sort of trajectory of the split. 𝘀𝑺 are off to a good start. They've picked up a decent draft in game one. After that first series, have you majorly changed your opinion about 𝘀𝑺?
I don't think so. I think when I came into it, I was ranking them 5th. As the best of the rest against like BTS, Secret, Flash, because I felt the top 4 was pretty solid, and I have been proven mostly right by Cerberus, 𝘀𝑺, and Buffalo. GAM, they played one series and it was against another one of the top teams, so they still have yet to show anything against. Do they belong in that top pack? 𝘀𝑺 has definitely shown, I think, pretty handily they are the best of that bottom group. They haven't really shown me, but they've only played BTS. This is their first time against the big time. Now, they did handle BTS extremely well, who then went and did a really good showing against Buffalo. So, transitive properties that definitely apply to League of Legends.
I mean, the thing again is like, but yeah, BTS took a game. BTS took a game off 𝘀𝑺, but 𝘀𝑺 beat itself in that game. Like, don't get me wrong, BTS played well. I'm not taking it away from them, but 𝘀𝑺 didn't put up a fight.
Yeah, but then there was like game 3, which I mean, like game 2 and game 3, there were signs of pretty good signs of life from BTS against a much tougher opponent. They just weren't. That you just know the obvious holes that plague BTS.
Oh, and we are into game. Lovely. We don't have to fill any longer, as we finally have Summoner's Rift. It is GAM taking on 𝘀𝑺 as we head into battle. 𝘀𝗶𝗶𝗹𝘀, you said that GAM have to play around the top lane, and I certainly agree with you. Where does 𝘀𝑺 want to be playing? How do they fend off that aggression?
𝘀𝑺, I think, honestly, kind of the same. I think mostly because it's a good way to counter what GAM does. The bot lane, you don't really care too much about rolling ahead. You're looking to play through that mid jungle and let them explode to either side lane depending on what opportunity presents itself. But neither top lane or bot lane screams, we have to go here. So I think top lane is better because it denies what GAM wants to do more than going bot lane. Even though bot lane might be an easier setup because Jhin, Leona plus a Twisted Fate means someone is dying. Someone is not playing League of Legends for at least 10 minutes. So, it's a strong one.
It's true. It is very true, as 𝘀𝗀 and Blazers have full information on where each other is. So we'll just trade a little bit of damage. 𝘀𝗀 coming out ever so slightly ahead, but not in any way that will truly matter. The one thing in the early game that did matter was the ward that Levi got in on 𝘀𝗀's red buff. Can track this talent very, very easily. And as Rebel was saying, this talent is going to be a huge point of power for 𝘀𝑺, so the fact that they can track it is pretty critical.
Yeah, and both of them starting on the bot side. I assume 𝘀𝗀 mostly did this just to avoid the red buff ward, so he can be a little bit more sneaky with his pathing if he chooses to forego the red buff early and sort of pick that up on a later timer. But overall, I think it still does play into the idea of we want to sort of go towards this top lane as the ward does time out because it was quite early. Now they're relying on guessing, does 𝘀𝗀 go for a full clear? Does he try for something a little bit spicier? Go for an early gank? We've seen this a couple times from Talons so far, but if they predict the full clear, they will have pretty much full information on where Talon is going to go, where he's going to be. And he's racing off to a good lead.
Levi's ganking mid. Levi is ganking mid. I know you might not be seeing it, but he is ganking mid, and he is getting first blood.
Yeah, and it was actually really clever positioning from 𝘀𝗀, sort of leaning towards that top side, edging Blazers back down towards the bot side, towards Levi, where he's able to just walk in and I assume you just set up a rune prison into the burst coming out from the graves, and that's just a free kill in the early game. Good start for GAM.
Yeah, it would have been lovely to see it, but unfortunately, I guess it was too hard to catch. As 𝘁𝗁 will continue to trade back. 𝘀𝗀𝗋 obviously loses a kill, but doesn't lose too much farm, as he does just teleport back to lane. No real harm done there, as 𝘁𝗰𝗶𝗹𝗀 will find 𝘁𝗀𝗋. He's level 4 to level 3 on 𝘁𝗀𝗋. 𝘀𝗀𝗋 has priority, so this is a 𝘁𝗁𝗵 for the Talon.
Yeah, 𝘁𝗁 looking for that reset, and 𝘁𝗁𝗶𝗹𝗀, he's going to be able to pick up the double crab pretty easily because, yeah, 𝘁𝗀𝗋 stopped by for this gank of the mid lane, which means he's fallen behind an experienced 𝘁𝗁𝗶𝗃, and thus you don't really want to fight the scuttle crabs. This is just gonna...
It's a double crab too.
Yeah, he's gonna fall back and pick up the farm, so he's not like devastated about losing the double scuttles because of the first blood. It results in more of an experience lead than a gold lead. But it's not great for the Graves, and it does help the Talon sort of catch up and build up. Yeah, we just saw them figure it, just sort of push towards the bot side where 𝘁𝗀𝗋 is able to easily capitalize on the CC.
Yep, super, super easy. There's really not a lot 𝘀𝗀𝗋 can do there. Actually good on him for saving his flash. His flash doesn't save him, so it can potentially save him from the next gank, which is very, very good. Good restraint coming out of him. As look at this, as 𝘁𝗁𝗃 races on forward, missing every Q, finally hits that last one.
Oh,
But here's Lee. Oh no, that's oh my word. This is disgusting play, Barbie. It's yucky, it's stinky, icky. But they do pick up the kill. Oh my god, get me out, get me out.
So just the narrowest miss on the Zenith Blade is just really feels bad for 𝘁, but sorry, not 𝘁, but wow, and 𝘁3 and 𝘁3 having the same. Yeah. Anyway, 𝘁32. I'm gonna go with that from now.
I think
Leona. I don't want to use 𝘁 because 𝘁 was his old thing from years ago, and 𝘁3 doesn't feel like that. Anyway, the Leona just narrowly misses. They still commit to the play. They definitely have the opportunity, but Leona just needed to flash earlier, I think, because then they get led under tower. They get rooted up for just a little bit too long that the final tower shot sneaks its way through. But now 𝘀𝗀𝗋. Oh no.
I mean, he's so far back. He steps forward. There's a slow from the smoke screen, but they can't actually get the rune prison, so he's totally okay. This wasted flash from 𝘁𝗁𝗃 kind of biting him.
Yeah, I mean, it got him a kill back, so how wasted is it? But I mean, but yeah, it's a whole thing. As in this top lane, we're just seeing the trading going on, not a lot happening. Bit of a lead for 𝘁𝗁𝗃, just saying, yeah, I'm still one of the best top laners. I still feel really comfortable in this matchup. As there's just the mid lane never stops. But good stand behind me. One of those words.
You'll get there. Braum.
Yeah,
they do well. We did have Style left alone there in the bottom lane. He has built up a little bit of a CS lead as the Fiesta around the mid lane has swung the bot lane ever so slightly. 𝘁𝗁𝗃 could be in trouble, but it's a lovely stealth there. Got that off halfway through B's auto attack that would have stunned him and probably killed him. So good job there. He gets on out.
And it cracks a flash, so there is opportunity now to punish the Braum in the bot lane. You're not likely to get the MF with both summoners up despite the endless amounts of CC, but Braum is going to stand in front of the MF and just eat it all and probably die. It does not have the ability to flash away. But it does not matter. The bot lane does not exist for Vit as they're still going to the mid lane and 𝘁𝗁𝗃 is dead.
Oh my word. Is it just an ARAM? Like, what is going on here? His Rise has gone down. Vit is on the roam as well. They push in the lane. I thought both of my analysts told me, well, they have to play around top side. They have to play around top lane. That's a weird looking top lane.
Okay, so in our defense, we did say we wanted to see them go through mid to break 𝘀𝗀𝗋 out, and then he will go to the top lane. They're just not at that next step. There's time. There's time. But no, they are just all inning on the very, very interesting and unique feed the TF strategy. Can't say it's the best place for your gold, but hey, it's working as they pick up a lot. And look at this, DC.
Look at the TF.
Hey, It worked.
It worked. It did work. But, like...
If it worked, it worked.
I can't deny that. You are correct. I cannot deny that. Oh my word. What a game. What a game Mr. League of Legends is up in this top side. It's actually very even at the moment. Just a Hextech alternator to a serrated Dirk. GAM have used their reset timing very, very well to get themselves a Rift Herald, and now there are pings on the top side. They want to get on top of Coded, but they are hatching a ward. 𝘀cie𝗰𝗶𝗹𝘀 going to hop over the wall, goes into stealth to buy a lot of time. He's trying to get Levi as Vit opens up the ultimate. The first kill's already come in onto Braum. It'll be a second one onto the Misfortune. And Levi having to flash away. It's a disaster for the Marines.
Yeah, they make up for the very slow rotation from Vit. He is able to open up and get some CC and a bit of poke damage down onto the bot lane as they escape. That's 2 kills picked up. That should be another plate onto Coded as well, rather. And that gives them... It makes up for the late play onto Herald, but that's still an advantage that the side of GAM can push as Levi heads towards the bot lane. And it looked a little bit scuffed with 𝘀cie𝗰𝗶𝗹𝘀 going so early, but look at the long-range engage that they have. Fit is nowhere to be seen, going from like 3 screens away, just hammering in shots. It lets them pick up 2, they go on to Coded and 𝘁𝘁𝗔, but hey, kill's a kill. This is an assist.
Yeah, it works out well. Meanwhile, Style has not really left the bot lane, has just been slowly farming up on this MF, but has not really gained a huge amount of a lead from it. GAM, that said, GAM has picked up the 2 actual objectives. So it's currently 2 kills and 1,000 gold in 𝘀ci𝗰𝗋's favor, but it's a Dragon and a Rift Herald back to GAM.
Yeah, and you have to probably take about maybe 100 gold of that away from them and into the Twisted Fate, which is not the best. But
Oh dear,
there we go.
He will be taken down.
There we go. They went to the top lane. They just took him a bit. They
well, to be fair, Rebel did say they need to get that mid priority first and then go up to the top lane, and that is precisely what happened. Our Fox is just so intelligent.
I flipped the conversation from literally 10 seconds ago.
to be fair, I said that, and then I got multiple pings in our caster chat saying, that's not what I said! That's not what I said! So
anyway,
I felt the need to clarify.
Anyway, it's a nice drop from the Rift Tower. Just pop some gold into Cardi's back pocket, but it will be traded on the top side just by the sheer power of Coded. And look at this, 𝘀cie, he's just really far forward. There's nothing he can do as 𝘀cie𝗰𝗶𝗹𝘀 appears. Blazes to seal the deal. Would have probably liked that gold to go onto Talon or Jace because Twisted Fate is fed enough already, and he provides a gold card, and that's about his use. So
yeah,
you probably want to get the other guys
early is good. Getting into Everfrost and RFC is nice.
Yeah,
I don't think there's
absolutely.
too many complaints.
Absolutely.
𝘀cie in trouble though. This is what was identified by yourself and Rebel. If this cannon falls behind, they're in real trouble because they just don't have ways to engage. And he is pretty far behind now. Not necessarily to the Jace in the 1v1 matchup, but to the general pace of the game as 𝘀ci𝗰𝗶𝗹𝘀 have swung out to this 2k gold.
Repeat looks like to be the answer, but no, the wave is too big. There's nothing much to do there. And we are just looking at how would 𝘀cie try and get this? His teleport is coming back up, so he might be relevant.
Oh,
never mind.
Look how fast 𝘀cie𝗰𝗶𝗃 gets all the way from top lane to the mid lane to kill the Cardi, and he's now 1 and 3. Down on the bottom side, there is an ultimate being used, but it gets absolutely nothing. Actually, that's not true.
It gets a flash. It gets a flash and a little bit of pressure, but as the mid jungle move into picking up this red buff, take that away, we are seeing sort of a very good lead build up from 𝘀cie𝗰𝗶𝗃, and he is trying to rotate around with Blazes and spread that individual advantage to the side lanes. Hasn't really made the way into the bot lane yet, as they rather would come to them, as somewhere along the way, Leona also had her flash blown, so GAM's bot lane putting in the work to try and make things happen, but the top side of the map is kind of falling apart around them.
Yeah, and we need to see Levi getting around there to really stabilize it. He does have this immortal shield, though. He is actually doing decent as the Graves, though he has fallen behind quite badly in CS compared to his opposite number. So this is getting a little bit worrying for GAM. Now, the thing to keep in mind is we know that when it comes to the 5v5s, they have that X factor. They have a huge amount of clutch factor that can get them back into a game.
Yeah, just look at it. Look at poor 𝘁𝗀𝗧.
He just doesn't get.
He has no hope. The gold card lands, and there's just a Talon sprinting at you at the speed of sound. Predator is a good rune, especially when combined with Youmuu's Ghostblade. Yeah, the million mile a minute man. I don't know. It's just he's fast. If he goes below 50 miles an hour, he will explode.
Yeah, we're definitely going to see some stuff as 𝘁𝗰𝗶𝗹𝗀 is up here. There is a Twisted Fate ultimate ready, but they spot Levi, so they kind of want to turn around on this one. Now, H32 in trouble, but the cannon is dead on the other side. This 𝘁𝗀𝗀 with a big ultimate trying to kite this one away. No chance. But 𝘁𝗀𝗀 will pick up the kill. It's a 1-for-1. Can they find more? Rune Prison onto Blazers. Gets his flash, but surely that's it.
Yeah, it was a great response coming out from GAM with using that Realm Warp to pretty much deny the opportunity. And I think they also managed to deny the local gold, which is pretty big up for first brick. So gonna take that away from GAM, from 𝘀𝗀cie rather. So a very good response. You can see the play that they were trying to set up that 𝘀𝗀cie had to bail immediately upon seeing everybody arrive through the Destiny Gate.
Yeah, it was good adaptation out of 𝘀𝗀cie. I think they got about as best as they could there, and they will be first on the spot for this second dragon. They'll pick up this Infernal. Absolutely no contest from GAM really possible. Levi is trading it for a Rift Herald currently, so Levi is doing well, taking what he can get, but unfortunately, despite that, GAM is just slipping further and further behind.
Welcome to another Mountain Drake, by the way. Third in a row.
Yeah. I'm actually not sure if you were on the broadcast yet where we had a streak of, I think, it's like 12 Mountain Rifts in a row or something like that. No, I don't think you were on the broadcast yet. Let's have a look at this replay, though.
But yeah, you just see 𝘁𝗁𝗀𝗀 rather, immediately turn around, try and run back to help his group. He finds the turn onto Cannon instead, and it ends up being a 1-for-1 overall, as sort of 𝘁𝗁𝗀𝗀 sort of had split ideas of he didn't know which side to help. He ends up going for the cannon. It works out for them. They get for the first tower. They're going to pick up the second tower as well. It looks like they lost mid lane thanks to that second Herald pick. Oh,
no, the Herald is not
still here and ready to go into 𝘁𝗁𝗀's face.
Yeah, they are, and he's just going to try and one-shot Levi. Doesn't quite get the one-shot, but does get the runaway. That's a big shield coming in for that magic damage, and B's Glacial Fissure is not enough to lock them down. He manages to get out of there.
Yeah, it's just enough, but by the similar token, B is also escaping, and they walk away with the health bar lead. That 𝘁𝗀𝗀 actually coming in huge at shutting out 𝘁𝗁𝗀𝗀's damage, which means they get to walk away, they get to drop the Rift Herald, and they get to pick up this tower as well.
𝘁𝗀𝗀𝗀 ultimate. Oh my word, that was the stretchiest sword I've ever seen. I don't think he really wanted to go there as he goes so low, but he gets out. 𝘁𝗀𝗀 has that slicing maelstrom, and he is chopping them up. That is the first kill going to TF. The cards have said it.
How did only 𝘁𝗀𝗀 die?
Coded lands onto style, but can't catch up.
How did only 𝘁𝗀𝗀 die? That's insane. So many people walking away blinking. Meanwhile, 𝘁𝗀𝗀 on the complete other side of the map is going to pick up a tower for himself. This map play is probably what's going to be able to get GAM back into it if they just manage to sort of walk away relatively even from 4v5s and then play the map. That's an avenue back in. That brings a very strong avenue as there's gold coming onto this Rise who could pop off in a late game fight.
Theoretically. We'll have to see if he can continue building that lead, as 𝘁𝗁𝗀𝗀 will steal away the red buff. Could not be stopped there at the last moment. Style as well has been farming pretty much uncontested. Up on the top side though, Coded has found himself a little Pikachu, and I think that's going to be the easiest solo kill this man could ever get. And he might even stick around for a second, because I don't know if 𝘁𝗀𝗀𝗀 can fight this, Jace. He definitely can't. as it's a lot of damage being done. But now Coden is on the run. He knows that reinforcements are coming. He knows who it is, and Style, he's getting juked a little bit at the moment, but B should be able to lock him up long enough for the rest of GAM to arrive. He's on the run. That's a lovely solar flare. They don't slow him up. He's going to get away. 𝘁𝗶𝗶𝗹𝘀! He goes down to the bullet time, but now the rest of 𝘀𝗀cie are here. It took too long. 𝘁𝗰𝗋𝗀 comes in, takes down 2. He's looking for a 3rd. Can he find it? He goes low. One more shot from Graves will take him down. It's a messy game, and 𝘁𝗀 comes from the grave to help out Graves.
So all in all, it's a 3 for 3 in the long run of the play, with 𝘁𝗀 going down at the start. But on the bot side, we have Blazers split pushing 𝘁𝗀𝗰𝗀𝗀𝗀. So actually, it is 𝘀𝗀cie that comes out on top. Give or take shutdowns, I'm not entirely sure. But what a scrap in that lane. It's gonna be Coden surviving for so damn long. It's actually insane. But the problem was it gave the time for 𝘁𝗀 to respawn, teleport in, and secure the end. Just a really good start. Opens up onto 𝘁𝗀. Not much to say here. This is going to be a long replay with the teleport coming in. But on the minimap that we don't get to see, we see everyone walking up onto the from the bot side. There's a little bit of juking coming out from 𝘁𝗀. Coden knows he's going to be caught, so he actually tries to go back in. There's Duke Style, Duke's 𝘁𝗀. He's able to get away from B, not quite landing the stun. But
I mean, look at 𝘁32 as well. If there's no cleanse, like, he actually just walks out. This was really good team play from 𝘀𝗀cie.
And the only reason Coden dies is he just gets nipped on the very edge of the glacial fissure. 𝘁𝗀 gets a little bit hyphy here, but does not actually have the damage to punch through Levi, especially when he spends most of it on the wolves. So it's just like, I think I'm probably going to die, so I'm going to grab what farm I can. I might have probably called 𝘁𝗀's teleport that came in, secured the kill on Vit. All in all, a lot has happened. It's a 4K gold lead, pretty much coming out exclusively from kills into 𝘁𝗰𝗋 CS. This is insane. Coden's looking at 5 people again.
This is the VCS. He has full vision on all 5 due to that Twisted Fate ultimate, of course. As the second dragon was secured, that first stack of the Mountain Drake going over to the fellas in purple, 𝘀𝗀cie Esports, having a very, very good early game here up against the Titans of GAM. As they push a wave into the mid tower, they evacuate well, they're playing well off each other. This is what we want from our teams, 𝘁𝗶𝗶𝗹𝘀. They may not have the best individual players in the league, but their team play is making up for it.
Yeah, that's exactly what we want to see, but on the other side, we see good individual players with a very lacking in coordination. Levi is doing well for himself, but the rest have been completely picked apart by 𝘀𝗀cie. Not ever really taking a fair fight. The closest we got was just multiple weird instances of multiple unfair fights on both sides. So yeah, it's going to be very interesting to see where the rest of this plays out. We have a lot of vision around this bot side for 𝘀𝗀cie, but there's nothing to play for on the bot side, so they're just kind of wasting time. They should be looking to try and set up a Baron. You have moderate to okay Baron damage, but if you set up your vision properly, GAM can't really walk into you beyond the Realm Warp. So set up your vision there, try and lure them into you, and you can just try and pick off a 𝘁𝗀, try and break apart GAM's composition, and then you can look to take the Baron after you've won a fight.
Yeah, I think it is very scary fighting grouped up in the Baron pit. You are still against a Kennen and a Ryze. Particularly that Ryze does have 2 items now. Kennen, of course, languishing on just the 1. And they do have an exhaust, which is always good to see. Every single time you have a game against a Kennen without an exhaust, a puppy dies. And we don't want that, as 𝘁𝗀 secures some vision.
Puppy have to die. Can it be a hedgehog?
No, take exhaust against Kennens, and that's it. Then you're safe. As 𝘀𝗀cie move forward once again, they really want to
Legends anymore.
They really want to break this mid tower. Ultimates are used. The edge of that glacial fissure will catch on to the mid laner. Blazers having to kite back, has locked a red card. Probably not the one he wanted, but it's the one he's got. And somehow everyone gets out.
Yeah, Blazes making sure he has the best item in the game to keep himself out of harm's way. 𝘁𝗏 taking a bit of a beating from the Shock Blast, but in the end, it's still a bit of a health bar lead actually to 𝘀𝗀cie despite everything.
Oh,
and now here comes the
curtains are open. Yep, he's having a look into the window. He's a peeping Tom, but the 4-shot will not land. As now they have to run away. This is a split fight here for 𝘀𝗀cie. They actually can't reinforce onto each other, but it's a good Deadly Flourish to hold Levi back, and GAM cannot bite anything off.
But you saw GAM actually get, like, what would have been a beautiful flank angle, but it was completely warded out by the side of 𝘀𝗀cie, so nothing actually happens.
Oh, here we go! As they are flying in, everyone is so low, and look at this, it's 𝘁𝗏 from the backside. Talon jumps in, nothing personnel, kid, but they're firing back well. It's a 3v2, 𝘁𝗏 way too low. Coded using his Q on a minion there as the 𝘀𝗏 will carry no one, but it does get them away.
And a huge pick coming out onto Style. It completely chunks him down, and 𝘁𝗏 finds the wraparound and blows up 2 almost immediately. He does go down in the end. But it is, of course, the big win for 𝘀𝗀cie, because they don't only win 3 for 2, they grab a turret on top. They are going to be able to reset and set up around Baron if they choose to. There is a mountain coming up shortly that their reset might line up a little bit well with. But they definitely want to sort of at least poke in and clear out some of this Baron vision, because GAM could do a sneaky on them.
Yeah, GAM is very fond of that move as well, of just, oh, we're just going to predict the recall timing of the opponent and just go straight onto the Baron. 𝘀𝗀cie are definitely going to go check. It's not happening this time. GAM with good Baron damage as well with the Misfortune and the Rise. So 𝘀𝗀cie do need to be careful as GAM are grouping up. Bad time for a replay, but here we are.
Yeah, but we are seeing a bit of a death rush coming through. 𝘁𝗏.
We're not going to be able to talk about it as the fight is starting off. As 𝘁𝗏 managed... Oh, he walked back into it! He walked back into it, you fool!
Pay to win
Baron.
skin.
That's Baron.
Absolute pay to win skin. That ultimate is absolutely invisible. But there's still danger on the side of GAM. I mean, this Baron is going down insanely fast, but the poke from 𝘀𝗀cie
They can't do anything. There's a Braum. There's a Braum, though. They can. This is a really bad decision for 𝘀𝗀cie. They're all going to die, Barbie. They are all going to die. They're going to try and turn it around. The cannon is zapping them down. Coded goes low. Vit manages to get one off to the side as Blazes gets another. The 𝘀𝗏 is good. Braum gets tagged up by the W. As Blazes moving on forward. 𝘁𝗏, he goes down. I was wrong, Barbie. I was wrong. It's GAM that are going to die. Only 2 of them escape with their Baron buff.
Yeah, it looks bad, but they still win the 4v5 because the AoE damage Coded is putting out is nuts. Jace is huge right now, and because of this collapse, because of these picks, they're actually going to be able to get first down onto this dragon, going to be able to pick that up for themselves, which helps a lot, unless Levi is going to find a sneaky way in and grab that with a steal, but he's stopped on his Raptors. He's not going for it. It's a win for GAM, but No. It's a win for GAM, but 𝘀𝗀cie recover pretty comfortably. And it looks like, oh no, 𝘀𝗀cie taking a bad fight, but look at that Q, the accelerated shock blast. It's really only 𝘁𝗏 being able to stall down the initial burst that saves them. But this re-engage from Blazes as well. It's just so much damage coming out from 𝘀𝗀cie that they don't get everything, but they do pick up a lot. Actually,
they really
could have survived somehow. 𝘁𝗏.
Yeah, he did well. As now it is GAM still with a couple of these Baron buffs active, so they do still have priority on the map despite the fight going the way of 𝘀𝗀cie. 𝘁𝗏 on a deep flank though. Here comes Talon. Wants to find the assassination angle. Tags up 𝘁𝗏, but the rest of his team just can't step up. So all he can really do is cut part of the wave and keep threatening this engage.
Yeah, they just want to keep the 4v4.
There's the Jhin ultimate. They're going to fight this one. They're going to go in, but it's a lovely 𝘀𝗏 gets them all the way out. 𝘁𝗏 can't stop them, but if they can delay recalls, they do have Jace down on the bot side, but Kennen's already there to stop him.
Yeah,
this is
still a lot of damage on the tower.
Very far ahead of his team. 𝘁𝗏 needs to be careful. He's really far ahead of his team. He goes in, has stealth, I'm not 100% sure what they're doing. Never mind, because
stopping
it's
the
just going to be
backs.
the inhib down. Yeah, it's just the inhib going down. Kennen could not stop Jace. They're going to go in now. It's a big play there out of H3. B going so low. They're just going to stop them forever, Marby. And will the backs ever go off? I don't think they will.
Levi's
GAM
out.
are getting outplayed. There's the shutdown. Levi manages to get away, but B is going down. This is an absolute disaster for GAM. Can they block out this final kill? They certainly can. What a passage of play we had on our hands, Marby. And now Coded, he should finally go down. Oh my, please don't get away. That's
He's getting out.
unholy. That's unholy.
He's getting out. They pick up a Nexus Tower. They pick up this bot lane inhibitor. They get a bunch of kills as well. And they're even going to take the top tower. GAM have just been completely outdone by 𝘀cie. It's basically a miracle Levi was able to sneak away and reset, because otherwise that would have been the game.
This is Marby. This is not fair what Coded is doing. Coded has extra stats on Jace. He's cheating.
Secret looking a little bit sheepish right now about their choice of top laner, because they chose Nagia over this guy, and this guy is absolutely making them regret it, popping off against GAM, and just that. There was nothing 𝘀cie could do. He's way too far behind in the 1v1, and Coded's just bullying the little rat, not letting him do a goddamn thing. And now we're just we've got 2 minutes until objectives are up, but there's a lot of pressure on the bot side that 𝘀cie could use to try and barrel down this mid lane, barrel down this top lane, and just try and secure another opening into the base of GAM.
That they do, as Coded is once again threatening a side lane. Moving on in, he is so terrifying. 𝘀cie simply cannot stop him. This is a 4-item Jace. As we are waiting 1.5 minutes, but we are in the position of the Baron for Dragon possibility.
Yeah, but at this point, does Baron help GAM? That's the Dragon certainly doesn't. Does Baron help?
Stopping 𝘀cie having it is good.
That is true, but it requires them to take Baron and be in a position where 𝘀cie just comes down and kills them. This might have been too much.
It might have been. Blazers will flash away. Once again, it's a red card. Not the one he wanted, as in goes the damage. Now, though, they corral them. It's a 4v4, but GAM are the ones isolated as a unit. Okie doke. 𝘀cie will eventually die. Stunned up there by 𝘀cie, or slowed, I should say. He will eventually be stunned up. This is a dead jungler for sure. But the rest of 𝘀cie will manage to get away.
Yeah,
It was a very weird situation.
That's a terrible time to overcommit and die, because look at this, 40 seconds on 𝘀cie, if I'm reading that correctly, and only 20 on the Dragon. So that's a free 5 minutes bought for GAM. They're going to pick that up. Then they can move and set up the Baron unless something goes wrong and they end up losing the 3v5, but that should be difficult. Oh, Coded!
Should be.
He hurt.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
In they go. They're going to rip out the Jhin ultimate. H3 has the ability to turn gold. Can he find Levi? No, they cannot. Leona is evacuating.
No,
they land the stun onto the jungler, though, and he's about to get blown up. It doesn't matter if Coded goes down when they pick up 2 on the other side, including the opposing jungler. 𝘀cie blast cones over the wall, and in comes 𝘁𝗏. The rise is pretty big, Marby, and it will take down the Leona as Blazers hits the ultimate and takes him down. He loves them. He loves the short-range Twisted Fate ultimates, Marminogi, and that's going to be Dragon, that's going to be Soul, and that's going to be 𝘀cie set up for a win.
And 𝘀cie basically has the smite even with 𝘀cie faffing around in the mid lane. They have the Jhin 4th shot. If they just time it correctly, there is no hope for GAM to get that, and that's a huge win for them. It lets them pull off what they just tried, and probably more successfully, because good God. They're getting high. They're getting ahead of themselves. Blazers and 𝘀cie, they're jumping in. They can do that. They can mostly get away with that. Now they definitely can. And it's just harder and harder for GAM. They're, again, looking like BTS was in the last game, looking at that Elder as like their big ability to come back, because they are not punching through Coded. Not with the triple Mountain Drake setup. It's so hard for them to actually get the job done and kill 𝘀cie to even find their way back in.
It is incredibly difficult. Of course, this Rise is getting scarier and scarier. We saw what 𝘁𝗏 was able to do in that last fight. And 𝘁𝗏, despite the fact that he's not particularly strong on this cannon, has been able to find good angles and good flanks for the Slicing Maelstrom. So it's definitely not over. Blazers backing away. 𝘀𝗏 is incredibly speedy as he moves through. Sorry, you need to follow. My bird just jumped in boiling water.
Yeah, so we're just seeing them pushing GAM away. That's a really bad ultimate coming out from the Leona, but it's not really that what matters because they're just sort of buying the time. They're not letting themselves get collapsed on. While in the bot lane, we see Jace shoving in where he can. 𝘀🐐 has moved to support him, so the collapse can't quite come through to just delete Coated in a 4v1. And now they've completely given up position on the Baron. And if they commit too hard to Coated, they can just... It could just be a turn.
I think as soon as they see Style, I think they should go to Baron as soon as they see Style. I think they should go to Baron. They are, but it's
they're way too slow.
It's too slow. It's way too slow. They just lose that.
They didn't do anything, and now one of your big actual poke tools for like dissuading Baron is down.
But 2 stopwatches used. 𝘁𝗏 goes down. The Rise is dead. That is all of their damage removed, Marty. And now 𝘀𝗏 is free to carve. He is penning a new song. He is painting a masterpiece. And this Jhin is about to absolutely pop off. But Levi doesn't want to let him as he fires back too. He gets a triple kill. Can he get set up for the quadra kill? That one guy in chat is going to lose his absolute mind. Never mind. They back off. No quadra kill will be secured right now, as that's going to be a kill for 𝘀𝗏. Now it's 1v1, pistol versus shotgun. Who'll come out on top? It's the pistol every time.
And it's a huge play from 𝘀𝗏. It's your always worst nightmare, Graves first Jhin. But look at this. He finds the ace. The teleports are back from Coated, who prepped this up earlier. They win the 4v5 just so Coated can teleport back in, give them the pushing power to run it down and win this game. Sure, okay, or not. 𝘁𝗏 and 𝘁𝗏 are back. I misjudged. Sorry.
This will be Baron, though.
Should be.
Yeah, we're 20 seconds on Graves coming back up. I mean, fair. You shouldn't trust them. You shouldn't. VCS teams are basically just cheating X's. You should never trust them. As 𝘁𝗏 has joined up, this should be very, very easy. Levi has not even respawned, let alone made his way to the Baron's pit. Baron pit, as we do have 47 kills, Marby. This is the VCS.
Yeah, 1 kill a minute for absolute babies, but it's actually just a disaster from Levi and 𝘁𝗏. They overreact to the engage, and it just gives 𝘀𝗏cie the chance to actually set up a really strong setup. 𝘀𝗏 is inting a little bit there by just unloading everything into the face of a Braum shield. And it just does come down to 𝘀𝗏 timing everything beautifully, playing around the shield of Braum. He's able to dodge pretty much everything and just lands everything as well.
He actually got quite unlucky. He used a dancing grenade there that killed 3 minions, and it was probably maybe 1 Teemo out of range of getting its 4th bounce onto one of the players. So unfortunate there, but he doesn't matter. He ends up winning it regardless. This is now a very close game, as we've got to the point where the gold lead does not matter nearly as much. It's mostly this Mountain Soul, it is Baron buffs, and it's an Elder in a minute and a half.
Yeah, it is still a pretty significant gold lead. You're looking at 4 items on pretty much everyone on the side of 𝘀𝗏cie, as I won't have time to talk.
Yeah, oh my god, where did Style go? Sent back to Bilgewater in a body bag. As now the Jhin ultimate will be coming in and carving. 𝘁𝗏 jumps in, manages to get as much as he can done, but it's not enough. That is one picked up there by Levi. But this is a bit bold now, 𝘀𝗏cie. This is a bit bold. But with 𝘀𝗏 joining, they have the right to be brave. They can keep GAM away from their own base, but without Coated, I just don't think they've got the oomph.
I don't know. They have the wave down there. As long as they can keep people from returning, especially Levi. There's 𝘁𝗏 is back in base, but I don't think he has enough to stand up against the 2 that are down there with him. I mean, that said, age 32 is extremely low, but he's just going to die.
He can do! He deletes the little rat, and 𝘀𝘀cie move up to 1-0. They do not care. Kings of Vietnam no more, as GAM lose this first game.
And this is a massive loss for GAM. Now, I mean, it's only game one. It was a long game. It was a hectic game. 𝘀𝘀cie themselves almost hitting that 1 kill a minute. But oh my god, if this is what GAM is looking like, it's not looking good. They can always bounce back. It's early on in the season, but
of course,
it's not looking good.
It certainly isn't, but we'll have to see if they can bounce back after a little bit of a break. Don't go anywhere. Upsets and all the rest can happen here on VCS English. It's an upset, boys. It's an upset, as we've got 𝘀𝘀cie currently 1-0 up over GAM Esports. Rebel, welcome back. This is a VCS English analyst desk. What did you think of that first game?
I mean, I laid it out as fast as I could at the beginning of the game, and it seemed to come to fruition pretty well. They played through mid. Both teams were wrestling for it to begin with. It ended up getting one, and from there, Blazes just helped to take over the game. He and 𝘀𝘀cie just kind of beat everybody into submission. That's all that was necessary.
I mean, pretty much. But I do think there was really good coordination between the players from 𝘀𝘀cie. Marby, what did you notice from GAM that really went wrong?
From GAM, they just have no agency with they try to make they've made a bit of a good play early with 𝘁𝗷 going into getting that early pick in the mid lane, but from there you then get that immediately countered by the double scuttle crab. You just then have no agency, and it was just 𝘀𝘀cie controlling the entire game. There were times where GAM fought back, like they'd win a fight, they'd like get the Baron or something, but it was generally 𝘀𝘀cie calling the shots and GAM trying to sneak what they could against the flow of the game.
Yeah, and Rebel, what do you need for GAM to bounce back?
They desperately.
Oh, Rebel, you all right?
Rebel, you have absolutely nothing. We get nothing from Rebel.
All right, well, Marby, you take the question instead. How does GAM turn this one around? I miss him already.
Draft engage. Draft early priority from what's his face, 𝘁𝗷. Put him on the Lee Sin or something. He did look pretty good on the Lee Sin. He looked okay on the Jarvan and against Cerberus, but yeah, there was just they're just not actually being able to do anything. 𝘁𝗷 struggled a lot, so maybe try and save a counter matchup for him. You'll be on the red side this time. But outside of that, I think their players are good enough to do something if they actually have the tools to do it with. But they didn't last game. They keep drafting away from this engage. I don't get it. It's a collapse from above, I think, rather than in the game itself.
And how does 𝘀𝘀cie lock up a second one? I do think they genuinely look like the better team in game one, but we know who GAM is. How do they fend off GAM?
Try and run back as much as you can, because that was pretty much bang on perfect for 𝘀𝘀cie. That they had some small stumbles, but they played the game really, really well, and I just want them to try and run it back. Don't change when I broke. Do your short teleport.
I think we have Rebel back.
Yeah,
hello.
I'm here.
Welcome back. Well, I will get your opinion on that initial question. How does GAM get back in this series?
Again, my biggest problem was by subbing out 𝘁𝗀kid, they just had no actual early game pressure whatsoever. Because in previous series that they had against the side of Cerberus, 𝘀𝘀 was kind of running things as much as possible out of the bottom lane. But you saw right there, not only was the top side aggressed against, but also bottom side was just accomplishing absolutely nothing into the later stages of the game. 𝘁𝘁 was perhaps the only member of GAM that was really able to accomplish anything. We have to see them come up with some sort of early game plan to be able to combat what kind of aggression that 𝘁𝗰𝗄's been coming out with.
Yeah, I think they really do. Can you think of any specific picks that you'd really like to see GAM highly prioritize?
Funny enough, I wrote down 𝘁𝗁𝗏, and this is because I would use a lot more kind of rough language for GAM because they kind of deserve it right now. But honestly, if their top side is deciding just to not pick any engage and they're going to get bodied pretty much top to bottom, at least let your bottom laner do some of the engaging for you by picking 𝘁𝗁𝗏 and throwing a support at everybody. Because, I mean, otherwise you're just wasting your composition by not picking any CC with it.
I mean, it's a bold call. 𝘁𝗁𝗏 is obviously not a champion we see a lot of, basically ever, but, well, or at least not for a long time. But I don't disagree. It does help if 𝘁𝗏 at 𝘁𝘁 aren't going to be your engage. Someone's got to do it. What do you think? Do we bring 𝘀𝘀 back in? Do you think it makes a very big difference, Marby, as we head into draft?
I think, yeah, 𝘀𝘀 is just the better player and can have that more clutch factor if you find the opportunity to really... It's not actually going to matter, so we're going to just cut that short. But I think... But yeah, just go for something that... go for engage. If you have to rely on the 𝘁𝗁𝗏 to do it, so be it. If you are just stuck to that Galio because that's the only way you know how to play, it sucks, but it's better than no engage at all. It definitely
is. It certainly is. I do think we will head over to draft. There we go. Sorry about that. As we do see similar bans from game one, except Twisted Fate has been removed. Actually removed by 𝘀𝗏𝗏. That just tells me they don't want to first pick. Yep. As they will actually first pick the Graves. I think that's a mistake. Let GAM make the mistake.
But if they learn from their mistakes, then it's bad. And it's also
VCS learn from their mistakes.
No. I mean, no, but also this does result in you getting coated on Graves, which should be nuts. I don't necessarily think 𝘁𝗏 has a lot in the bank that can really counter it. He might try and run the Jace or something into it. He might try and pull out the Jax if that doesn't get sort of taken away in a second ban phase, assuming they don't grab it R3. But taking the Jhin away from Vit, I think, is actually crucial.
Yeah, I definitely agree. We need to see... It's good that they're forcing Vit to actually show something else. And 𝘁𝘁's got Lee Sin. So this is immediately such a better start for GAM. This is actually what they want. Rebel, what do you think so far?
While I think GAM has put together at least a slightly better composition to begin with, this should open up hopefully for a bit more assistance to topside, because now you've got aggression out of 𝘁𝘁 combined with like utility coming out of style, and then V can kind of join in on that. So this is a little bit better designed composition for GAM, but you've given over a trifecta of insanely powerful champions now. Coded's going to get the Graves, and that's not super easy to deal with if you're 𝘁𝗏 on the top side. 𝘁𝗀 has now run multiple games on this talent. It's not something I would want to give. And Blaze's most played champion is this Ryze pick, which he's been good on in the past. Like, it's so hard to slow down this kind of Thanos composition that's coming together from the side of 𝘀𝗏.
I think the only real downside to the Ryze pick is, I mean, actually, the benefit to the Ryze pick more than anything is I don't know what card he has that will punish it. I don't think he's going to be popping off on Syndra or something like that. They can just try and shut down the Ryze early and then snowball through there, but...
A Nivea.
I mean, he could.
He played it last split, like...
I don't think it's...
We don't get any Nivea in the
I think it's
VCS. Don't
great.
be silly. Don't be silly. As AD carries will be removed by GAM, mid laners by 𝘀𝗏𝗏. They do ban out the Syndra.
I mean, yeah, fair. Don't risk it.
Yeah, no reason to play with fire, as We need to see 𝘀𝗰𝗋 have a much better game on the cannon than he did last game. As I was saying on the cast, he did find decent slicing maelstroms, but he was so far behind that they just didn't do enough damage. And it will be 𝘁𝗃 not getting his Leona either. And that looks like a Ziggs.
Okay, interesting. So the Ziggs lock in for Fit, just going for the ghost strategy of try and deny interaction in the bot lane as much as possible. Yeah, it's a bold plan. They might find themselves a little bit AP heavy, but I think Graves and Talon should be enough to sort of counterbalance that in the long run, and especially in the early game skirmishes for sure.
We also have 𝘁𝗀𝗋 as that is not a bot lane we see very often in VCS. Rebel.
Torturous. Oh, go ahead.
Go ahead, but I was just going to ask you, what do you think of this luxury comp?
I mean, 𝘁𝗃's composition is a little wonky, just because, again, triple AP on the bottom side feels a little weird. Also, like, 𝘁𝗀's support, I assume he'll build up more tanky, just because they don't really have another frontliner to work with, so hopefully, you know, 𝘁𝗃 doesn't go into, like, Imperial Mandate and then, like, Demonic Embrace or something, instead opt for a bit more tankiness somewhere. This is actually a really good composition also for GAM to run Anivia into, because the only person that is bad into Anivia or good into Anivia is the Ziggs. And they've got Lee Sin, they've got like multiple. I'm upset a little bit that 𝘁𝗏 didn't go for it, because this was a really good comp to pick.
You hyped yourself up for the Anivia that was never gonna come.
It was absolutely never happening.
The melee champions, like I'm upset about it.
Oh man.
It was never happening. 𝘁𝗶𝗶, GAM has put themselves together a much better comp, in my opinion. I think it patched a lot of holes from game one. What do you think?
I think it's a much better composition. Absolutely. I would see this being run by anyone from dumb one to luxury, I guess. the polar opposites of the spectrum.
Yeah, exactly.
That one's pretty bad after all.
Yeah, 𝘁𝗃 are the best team in the world. We are heading on to the Rift. So, Rebel, I need you to answer this quickly. Are we going to a game 3?
Yes.
Fair enough. You think GAM will take game 2? It'll be myself and 𝘁𝗏 bringing you the action on Summoner's Rift. There's nothing particularly interesting happening at level 1. What do you think of this Ziggs pick? It's not something we often see in the VCS.
No, it's not, but I think it fits vitality. Wow, luxury as a team very well. It fits Vit as a player very well. I think I'm interested to see how it goes, because we haven't really seen it in the league. But overall, the pick should be fine. It should open up the ability for the 𝘁𝗀 to get out and have the impact on the map. I would say, if I'm looking at weaknesses for luxury's comp, it's not the strongest engage. You are looking for that Killer Queen flank. You have the Nature's Grasp, but that's a very slow, very telegraphed engage. So they could find options, or we could just flip at level 1, and who knows?
We certainly could, as that is going to be this late invade. Yeah. The bubble onto 𝘁𝗏. He flashes, but he gets tagged up by the Sonic Wave regardless. Will be pushed right back under his tower. They still want to potentially poke in for this red buff. I don't think they're actually going to be able to get it. No, it's going to reset. This is an absolute fiesta here at level 1.
This is dumb as hell. Come on. This is insanely stupid. Killer Queen going over on the blast cone. I think it's just sign of death warrant.
This is insane. As GAM, they're very low on the health bars, but Blazes really doesn't want to rejoin. He's pretty scared. Killer Queen still has his smite, and they will eventually back out, and everyone's just really late to lane, I guess.
Sapling's too damn good, apparently. Just completely controls the level. Completely chunks out GAM. The poke is too much. 𝘁𝗃 also able to just soak a lot of damage and then build up that health back thanks to the passive. And all in all, it's going to set Levi behind extremely far. As I want to see the scoreboard to see how the mid lane shook out, because it's actually Blazes did get chunked out early, but he went and hung around the wave, but he actually only managed to get 2 CS from it. So really,
I mean, the minions the minions hadn't really gotten to lane. Like, that fight was happening at 1 minute 20, you know?
But
the minions
it's
barely
mid lane. It's mid lane. The lanes crash pretty much as the buff spawn. So he just spent a lot of time hanging around the mid lane, sort of not actually helping the fight, but not committing to just trying to pick up CS either. So he's down a very early teleport. Wasn't even like able to get a tier or anything to back for. So it's gonna set Blazers behind a little bit, as 𝘁𝗏𝗏 will be able to get
jungler again.
Oh my god.
Look at him! Look at this little rat! He's just squeaked his way in and just stolen away some chicken. This is bullying!
Yeah, it's because 𝘁𝗏𝗏𝗀, he only really had the ability to do the 2 camps with the help of 𝘁32. So he backed and went straight to the top side so he could maybe do a little bit of and do something interesting there. It lets him pick up that Scuttle Crab. He's not going to get double crabbed either, but he does lose the Raptors, and he's going to have a little chicken to pick up and find. Levi has just been a sneaky boy. Style is getting completely smacked down by the poke coming out of the bot lane.
And it's a flash forward from H3. Oh, dear God, Mommy. Cut the stream. Oh, Lord. 𝘁𝗏 on the run. He did it. Oh, baby. This is just a game. Oh, I'm not allowed to swear on stream, but if I was, you know I would be.
Oh, it's just bad from 𝘁𝗏32, not flashing to get the twisted advance, but Vid's able to salvage the play with the kill back onto Style. It's gold to both carries. It's an assist to both. It's experience won by Vid as he gets to stay in the lane. It's a pretty net neutral trade, but oh my god, it was not a good one to look at.
It was very, very ugly. Just not a super good play there by H3. He just wasn't. I'm not sure if he wasn't in range or he didn't have the mana for his W, but something happened as we go up to the top side, and Coded has no chance of getting away here. Will be taken down by the Levi Sin.
This is definitely what we want to see from Levi, as I might have to hold on. I don't think 𝘁𝗏𝗏 can get anything done, but he might just die.
They're just going to call a teleport. They're going to call in that teleport, and 𝘁𝗏𝗏𝗏 is very dead.
Yeah, nothing for 𝘁𝗏𝗏𝗏. Bit of a shame, but he wanted to teleport anyway to get back to lane, so not a huge loss. But we wanted to see Levi try and make the impact on the map. 𝘁𝗏𝗏𝗏, I think, felt a little bit pressured by Levi, so he tried to do the same on the bot lane, but he just hatched a ward and got completely locked down forever. There was no way for this bot lane to actually support him.
Yeah, had absolutely no hope. Didn't have his flash after the early game shenanigans as well. As Blazers has managed to get up to level 6, he is looking fine. He's 0-0-0. Let's have a look at... Oh no, don't replay this.
Not this one. But it's a really bad trade.
Oh, we need to go back to live as we have a dive coming in. Vit has been found, has been taken down, and now it's just B. Why did you have to E forward again there? That was very, very greedy. Style has the 4th shot. We'll take it down, but that did not need to be a 2-for-1.
I mean, it didn't need to be, but it does 100% guarantee that second kill instead of any potential.
Mommy, you don't get to talk.
No.
We have another fight. There's even a Rise coming in. He does have access to his flash if he needs it for the W. They get the collateral damage, and Blazers will pick up that kill. Yeah,
it's a really good collapse from 𝘁𝗏𝗏𝗏 trying to punish the overcorrection onto the bot side. It's going to be 2 kills. It's going to be a 2-for-2 trade overall, but there is going to be tower plates traded onto Coded in place for this dragon. So it's not looking good for... It's not really looking as hot for 𝘁𝗏𝗏𝗏. Still struggling with getting things done in the top lane, being a little bit camped, but we just see this bot lane. It's a very clean dive, and 𝘁32, yeah, it probably doesn't... Oh, sorry, B rather, doesn't need to do that, but it 100% guarantees the kill, and you're only trading a kill back, the gold going towards the support 𝘁𝗏𝗏𝗏, so...
It's not a big deal.
So you're more than happy to do that so you can get another kill onto your Jhin.
Well done there. 𝘁𝘁𝗃 forcing that Raptor to reset so that 𝘀𝗃 can get another camp, but then he gets caught out as Levi and B come flying over the wall, but 𝘀𝗃 is here with the ultimate, the Jin ultimate as well, coming in. It's not really doing anything as almost every shot was missed. 𝘀𝗃 trying to find the last bit of damage. He does. It's a double kill for 𝘀𝗀xe.
The exhaust coming up huge and just shutting down every bit, the only bit of damage of Levi. B only has the Ignite to work with, can't actually do the same to 𝘀𝗃, so it becomes a big win in the 2v2. They're going to be able to turn this into a bit of jungle pressure, steal away this blue buff, and with, of course, the collapse from 𝘀𝗀xe secured that second kill, so it's just a huge win for 𝘀𝗀xe on the board. It brings them up to, about a 500k gold lead, a little bit more, because I can't do maths quickly. But yeah, overall, really good back and forth from both of these teams, trying to make plays, punishing overextensions from the other. I'm really glad to see this, despite that the little flub in the bot lane was a bit of a goof. But beyond that, I've actually been really happy with the level of play in sense of they're trying things, even if they don't work out.
I mean, look, the way to look at this game is that this is a really high-class circus. It's still circus, and they are still clowns, but they're like, 𝘁𝗶𝗶𝗃𝗀 and stuff. They're really good clowns.
I'm sorry to hear about their mental state.
I mean, after this,
I feel they do need to. I've seen a doctor about it, but it wasn't any help.
As 𝘁𝘁𝗃 has wandered up to the top side here to help out Coded, clear some vision. They want to move into this Rift Herald here at 10 minutes. And with GAM not really responding, they should have the ability to set up for it quite nicely, but it doesn't look like they want to overcommit.
But 𝘀𝗀xe, honestly, I would really prefer if they didn't overcommit and just tried to sort of hold out a little bit, let Vit do his Ziggs thing on the bot side, but actually they're not going to bother with that at all, because Cardi's there to clean up the wave. It's just going to be a bit of a poke in. GAM have the superior position. No ultimates on support, but 𝘁𝘁𝗃 with half a mana bar means he's only going to be limited effectiveness right now.
Yeah, I mean, that's enough for one round of spells, which is what you need. As Jin opens up, Levi will get the Rift Herald. GAM coming out big on top here as B finds a way in. Cardi doing a good job on the side. It's a big bomb out of the Ziggs, and now they just have to retreat. Vit, this is all you, son! But he doesn't land the damage. 𝘁𝘁𝗃 should be able to kite out of this one, no problem. He's big tanky 𝘁𝗀𝗃, but it's Herald and a kill to GAM.
Yeah, big win for GAM, getting away with well, pretty much murder there, stealing away the Rift Herald, stealing away the kill onto 𝘀𝗀xe. They're not going to be able to convert it straight away, of course, but they are also just going to keep counter-jungling 𝘀𝗃, who has been a little bit set behind. It's actually never mind. They're actually just really, these junglers are really closely matched, it feels like. And that's insane to see. I really love to see that. As we see a focus onto the top side, it's still Coated being the big win condition for 𝘀𝗀xe, building up a pretty good CS lead over 𝘁𝗀𝗃, who managed to find his way back into the game thanks to that team fight and a huge ultimate out of him. 𝘀𝗀xe just going to take us nothing. Never mind.
Not quite. Was close. Wouldn't have mattered a huge amount regardless, as there's no real kill threat. 𝘀𝗀xe is just continuing to farm up.
Puts him in a sad state. Makes him burn apart. Sure. Feel a little bit grumpy about Zoe being in the game.
I mean, everyone should feel grumpy about Zoe being in the game, as they just continue to farm it out. We are seeing actually pretty good execution of what this Ziggs wants to allow. I mean, when was the last time 𝘁𝘁𝗃 was in bot lane?
Just then, cleaning up his relic stacks, I believe. But
yeah, I mean, he doesn't have to spend much time there, which is good. That's why we picked the Ziggs. It's not groundbreaking, but it's good to see it being done properly in the VCS.
Okay, I want to jump on this quickly before something breaks out, because there's a dragon. Rebel mentioned it earlier on the desk, on the draft, that he was hoping that 𝘁𝘁𝗃 would go more for the tanky build a locket, that sort of thing. Never mind.
Oh, Hang on. There is the catch onto 𝘁𝗏, but it's a stopwatch to block absolutely everything. Levi goes low, does not get away from the bomb, and 𝘀𝗰𝗄𝗯 will clean him up. The Realm Warp is good as well. This is all 𝘀𝗀cie, 𝗀𝗶𝗶𝗹𝘀. This is all 𝘀𝗀cie. Coded tries to get away, can't quite do it, as now it's turning back around. They have to dodge these Jin shots. The health bars are very low. B wants to go in, can't quite find it. I think he might have got lucky to miss there. Now 𝘁𝗃 backing off. It's 4v3, but there's about 300 health on each team.
Yeah, no one can really look to start the dragon, but 𝘀𝗀𝗰𝗄𝗯 is also on full health, so if someone oversteps, someone gets a little bit too close to that wall, he could pick up another kill onto Style. Not very likely to happen. Actually, never mind, he's going for it anyway.
They are up. Why not? He's got everything up. He's a talent. He can do this. He just barely survives, but he does survive.
Yeah, he missed about everything he could miss, but he gets away with it. Yeah, so in the end, a really big win for 𝘀𝗀cie. Never mind, I was gonna criticize 𝘁𝗃, but hey, apparently it worked. Apparently it worked. I'm not allowed to criticize this damn thing in this game.
So far, we haven't. There's a long way to go. This is a fairly close game. Let's have a look at this replay and how it all went down.
Yeah, it's a really strong early engage, but it's this turnaround from 𝘁𝗏 finding the bomb and this Nature's Grasp in particular, just wrapping up and securing Style and B, keeping them a little bit in trouble. But what saves them is the 𝘁𝗏 ultimate. It gets a kill, it keeps them in place for Style to rain the shots on. They don't actually end up picking up a second kill, but it does keep the health bars low enough that they can't convert it. And that's the key thing. I mean, 𝘀𝗀𝗰𝗀 didn't take any damage, so he was able to kill Style on the back end afterwards, but I think we're going for round 2, though. Everything
round
down.
2? I would have thought it was a little bit more
of the dragon specifically.
I think they've been in the ring going the full 11, 𝘀𝗶𝗶𝗹𝘀, but at the moment it is 𝘀𝗀cie with positioning. I want to see what 𝘁𝗀 was doing there. Didn't actually seem to have landed much damage onto Blazers. As they do kite away, 𝘀𝗀𝗰𝗀 wants this one. They kill the enemy mid laner, but the jungler taking that much damage is very risky.
Yeah, should be able to heal off the jungle pretty quickly. Has that Vamp Scepter, has the red buff on him as well, ticking up that health regen. But 𝘁𝗏 looking for something. Probably not actually going to find anything, so giving up
Dragon's
a lot of
still
pressure
alive,
in
𝘀𝗀𝗧.
the top side. Yeah.
Dragon's still alive.
Dragon's unreal. Dragon priority is in Korean is actually 𝘁𝗀. It's a weird translation. But no. It's just 𝘀𝗀𝗀 sort of having priority once again. 𝘀𝗀 doing a little bit better, but 𝘀𝗀𝗰𝗀, oh, you might have gone too far.
Oh, this is very bad as 𝘀𝗀𝗰𝗀 is gone. That's 800 gold to the pocket of Levi. And now they do have control. Can they get down to this dragon in time? I don't really think they can use this kill for dragon.
No, I mean, definitely not. That's just too far away. But it was a beautiful read onto 𝘀𝗀𝗰𝗀, realizing he's definitely going to come up and at the very least threaten to kill 𝘁𝗏. But here's the engage.
𝘁𝗏, lovely little dodging. He's got the dancing shoes on.
I take it back. No engage. Just nothing happened. Nothing happened in the bot lane.
That was really well done by 𝘁𝗏. No. 𝘁𝗏 gets his credit. 𝘁𝗏 gets his credit, 𝘀𝗶𝗶.
𝘁𝗏 does get his credit. He dodged what words? Dodge the spells that come out from 𝘀𝗀𝗀. Wow, I am struggling with this. What?
It's really hot in where me and 𝘀𝗶𝗶 are right now.
Why it's so hot?
Our apartment gets really hot, so if we get a little bit of the brain break, that's why. As there's a Jin ultimate coming in, that's a dead tree. Logging has just gotten ridiculous.
Yeah, looking a little stumpy right now, being cut down for size. I got there in the end. Shut up. Anyway, they get the dragon. They gonna get that off the kill. They will lose in the top side. Gonna lose that top lane turret. I don't think Coded was actually around to collect local, so that's a small victory. But hey, that's a win. That gets them onto the Ocean Rift. which doesn't really favor anyone particularly strongly. I think both teams are really looking for that burst. There's already the 𝘀𝗰𝗶𝗹𝗀𝗀, the grievous wounds built on 𝘁𝗂 at least, so it's not going to do anything for 𝘀𝗀xe really in a big fight. But here we are. We have a Rift Herald set up.
Yeah,
not a lot of
and
vision for
𝘁𝗏 is
either
here.
team.
The big farmed Graves with his shield bow is here. I think GAM kind of okay just giving this one up. It is just a second Rift Herald. Herald doesn't really do very much after all. It's not something we're super, super worried about. If you're a GAM fan, should be smited away any moment unless okay, 𝘁𝗀xe wants to go over the Y.
Yeah, they're going to get
They can't get the eye. Oh my god.
I mean, 𝘁𝗀's going to walk back for it. He should be able to grab that.
Okay, he manages to grab it, but this was... I don't understand.
Yeah, very interesting decision coming out from 𝘁𝗀xe jumping straight into the waiting arms of 𝘁𝗂. Luckily, they have the 6, so they don't get punished on the mid lane shove, and 𝘁𝗀's able to just run straight into the top lane. He's not actually going to use the Herald and give himself a nice $600 cash bonus. He's just gonna waddle on back, get a reset. No, not.
Yeah, it's okay. No rush. He can hold this Herald, use it for priority at some point if they want to set up Baron Vision or the like. It's always a good time to do that. As GAM does have control of all the lanes at the moment, but it is still only 400 gold in it.
Yeah, but the downside for GAM is that they are the only ones without a tower pressure, especially in that top lane. So that gives 𝘀𝗀xe the ability to go in.
I don't understand why he did this.
Yeah, I guess he just was like, yeah, we're going to give it to 𝘁𝗀 anyway, so I'm just going to go hunt for vision, but just right into the waiting arms of cannon, gets blown up. It's a really bad decision, but anyway, not much they can do. Blaze is going to sneak away with that and just go straight back into it.
Yeah, it's always straight back into it. It's a long-range bubble, and it's really good as Levi going low, but Blazers picks up the kill regardless, managing to flash away. 𝘁𝗀32 is alive as well, can get out of the Jhin ultimate too. He's going to get out of this one completely scot-free. 𝘁𝗀ed will be held back by a bubble, but Blazers will not. The fire starts to burn as Blazers picks up 2.
And Style misses everything. This is a complete wash for the side of GAM. 𝘀𝗀xe are going to be able to convert this with the Rift Herald into a tower. They can probably push it up and get a second shove if they really want to, but I think what's more likely is they're going to get that reset off for free, head up to the top side, and just try and make sure they have perfect Baron setup. They don't have the top lane on GAM's side, so they can just... So 𝘀𝗀xe has the ability to push into that side of the jungle, set up vision, and stop the options for like Levi being a Lee Sin and sneaking over the wall and sneaking the Baron out from under them, being a pesky little boy.
He is being a very pesky little boy, Marby. He's a pesky little fella. This is an incredibly back and forth game. I mean, everything misses from GAM here. Basically, Cardi's the only one that lands spells.
Yeah, it's absolutely depressing just watching, especially this ultimate. Just, he's shooting B.
Oh my god.
He's shooting B. I mean, but yeah, and then threading the needle somehow between 𝘁𝗀ed and Blazers. That's just pure disaster. If any of those land, they might be able to sort of salvage the play, but they miss everything, and it just goes 100% into 𝘀𝗀xe's favor. And
it does, certainly does.
Disaster.
But it is still close on the gold. It's only 2,000 at 21 minutes. That's nothing disastrous. Let's have a look at some items, though, as they are beginning to come in. We talked briefly about 𝘀𝗀xe's choice to go to the Imperial Mandate. I know it's something Rebel disagrees with, so we'll have to talk to him afterwards. But Graves is still building up this big heal build, even though it's been a few patches since Worlds.
Yeah, and it did get nerfed as well, so it's a bit interesting he went all in on the healing. And the Grievous Wounds has already been built as well, so maybe that's why. just to double down.
𝘀𝗰𝗶𝗹𝗀, you gotta pick your targets, mate. You can't assassinate the cannon. Please learn.
What is this
That
fight?
is a realm warp forward. They're fighting this just completely outnumbered, but it's an absolutely massive nature's grasp. Can they take down Levi? They really have to. Vit will get him. Finally, the 𝘀cie falls, and now GAM really don't have an angle to stop the retreat. They just have to walk away, and it's just a random 1-for-1, and the dragon for 𝘀𝗀cie.
It's so weird just seeing the realm warp coming up from Blazers, but they do get the dragon. Then that stops the snowball. It cuts a win condition for GAM down.
Well played,
But
Vit.
they just
Coded.
keep missing.
Oh, the W style. Come on. Hit an ability.
They just keep missing.
Sick. As it's a 1-for-1, turn it into a 2v1, and is it answered back? This is actually 𝘁𝗷𝗋 absolutely going huge here. He's the only one with a full health bar, and he picks up a double.
And the gold is back to within 1,000. It's just insane. This has just been a mess. These two teams just crashing into each other. It's a train wreck. It's a disaster. But I can't tell who's coming out on top. I mean, in that specific one, you would probably lean, I don't know, GAM, because they caught up the gold lead, and a single Ocean Drake is barely anything to give away.
Who cares? Yeah.
But oh my god, it's just this bot lane from GAM. They got blindfolds on today because they are missing everything. But if they land a single bit of CC, this fight could go completely differently, and GAM could be actually off to a real lead. But it's just been a mess.
Yeah, that is a very gentle way to put it. Okay. Talon sleeps in weird places, apparently. He does manage to get away there. Well played, getting away from the Zoe. Vit has actually been playing pretty well. I've been pretty impressed by his zigs so far. But we need to see if they can keep it going. If we can have 𝘀𝗰𝗶𝗹𝗀 pick his engagements a little bit better.
Yeah, he's getting a little bit he's getting a little bit high feet, jumping into the jungle, trying to find something. Was looking to sort of continue on from last game where he could just bully 𝘁𝗋𝗋 over and over, but 𝘁𝗋𝗋 is not the 0-3 cannon anymore. He is a 3-1 and 5 cannon, which is a very different creature. So yeah, 𝘀𝗰𝗶𝗹𝗀 having a little bit of a harder time. He's also running the Conqueror this game, so looking for the more extended trades. Doesn't have the burst, but he has enough to style.
We go. There we go. 𝘀𝗰𝗶𝗹𝗀 chose his targets, did the parkour properly, and in they go. It's a double kill for this Talon. They're moving in. That is asleep onto Coded, holding him back, but only for a moment. He doesn't sleep well, and GAM have to retreat.
Did they cancel Levi's ultimate? It looked like he went into the animation, but nothing happened. But
Zoe takes a lot of damage. The collateral damage not quite enough though. 𝘁𝗏 can't really participate, and 𝘀𝗀cie, they're headed for the worm.
Yeah,
they're walking in rhythm, and 𝘁𝗏𝗋 has responded.
There's a lot to work with. You have Levi, who's the slipperiest champion of the game, and 𝘁𝗏 can rain poke down, but he is low, so he has to be careful.
It's secured. H32 went gold, stopping any chance for B to make a play happen, and 𝘀𝗀cie will walk away with 5 lovely velvet vests.
Yeah, they're dressed all in team colors. You love to see it. They're gonna maybe lose the mid lane tower to this minion push, but Zig's actually gonna be there in time, never mind me. But yeah, they can absolutely utilize this. They have the strong solo lane encoded. They've had pretty good rotation capabilities out of 𝘀𝗀𝗃 and Blazers. And the shove and the siege from Vit alone is pretty deadly, as long as he has the good support from the rest of his team to keep him safe from a collapse from, say, the cannon, 𝘀𝗀, things along those lines. Which I think, considering how well H32 has been playing, I think he should be fine. And they can definitely look to siege this mid lane tower and get that pressure down with this Baron buff.
Yeah, I definitely think so. They are pretty firmly in the lead, even though it is only this 3k gold lead. Tempo-wise and composition-wise, I think this plays out very, very well for 𝘀𝗀cie, but GAM do have that magic. They win games they're not supposed to win, and they do it fairly often. But right now, it's very, very hard, as 𝘀𝗀cie have a lovely 2-lane press. 𝘀𝗀𝗃 sitting off on the side. If 𝘁𝗋𝗋 tries anything, he dies instantly. As he hops over, In he goes, though. There's the slicing Maelstrom. But you know what's
Best
better than a
instantly.
Maelstrom of electricity? It is a blade of storm of knives as I get there eventually. And they do get a trade kill onto 𝘁𝗏𝗺, though. So a 1-for-1, really not too bad.
Yeah, and they actually managed to save the turret, and now they can open up with this.
It's all right. Now we can watch some more Jhin ults miss. Oh, he hit 2 of them that time.
Yeah, it's it doesn't really do much, but it does help GAM get priority over this dragon. They're fighting a bit of a very small goal lead, but the Barons
don't have their cannon.
They do have that
don't
extra
have their
member.
cannon.
Oh no, they don't. I totally
No, they
forgot
don't. It
about
was
cannon.
1-for-1.
No, they don't.
They blow 𝘁𝗵𝗔 up. He goes low, but they don't kill him. The 𝘁𝗁𝗁𝗀 ultimate stopped Levi on the way in. They finally get him in the end, though. 𝘁𝗁𝗁𝗀 going low as well. 𝘁𝗃 just dodging away from that last skill shot. Everyone is low. It's going to be a smite fight, 𝘁𝗶𝗹𝗀, and it goes the way of 𝘁𝗁𝗁𝗀. He's dynamite with a laser beam as they will pick up more kills. 2 members of GAM have fallen. 𝘁𝗁𝗁𝗀 hiding in the brush, but he's got nowhere to go. Sent back to Targon.
And with
that is 𝘀𝗀cie.
Yeah, the beautiful Realm Warp from Blazes, putting him right, and Teleport of course as well, putting him right in place to catch GAM on the retreat. They still have 10 seconds left of this Baron buff, which is more than enough to grab an inhibitor. Don't think it's enough for the game, but it's only Gear up.
Yeah, no, they've got Baron. They go for this 100%. I don't know if it's the right decision, but I've watched enough VCS to know they go for it. As Kennen goes in, he gets 1, he gets 2. He does go down, but not in the end worth it.
Fair enough. It was a beautiful ult from Kennen. He's fat enough to just instantly clear the wave. Picks up 2 as well. Yes, he dies, but that is 100% worth, because otherwise, yeah, game's over. And it was great. It was not enough from 𝘀𝗀cie. Their Baron buff was only 10 seconds. They can't keep it up to survive a Kennen ult and push through the Nexus turrets. And now 𝘁𝗁𝗀's just... Oh man.
They're burning a teleport on it. I don't know if that's worth it. He's running. I think
winning.
He dies. No, never mind, because the rest of the team is here. Blazes is arriving. That's a Leona ult. He missed that initial Q. That's actually pretty bad here from Blazes. They might not be able to do enough damage, but 𝘁𝗃 will kill Zoe on the other side. Oh god, it's just so over, 𝘁𝗶𝗹𝗀. It is so over as B will fall to the tree. The blue man takes down the blind man. And oh my word, 𝘀𝗀cie are here to play.
And GAM overchase into the tanky member that is 𝘁𝗃. He has so much armor in his kit thanks to his True Grit passive. He has so much lifesteal, and I'm pretty sure Kennen's the only one with any heal reduction built so far. So they just cannot do anything to him. He turns around and he probably didn't even need the backup to get a trade kill, but he has the backup, so they just wipe it 3 for nothing. I also want to point out beautiful from 𝘁𝗃32 dodging the Leona ult.
Oh, style. Oh, he hits 1, he hits 2, but then they're out of range. 𝘁𝗁𝗀 does not want to say he's done, though. Keeping style out. I mean, I'd like to look at the base, I'm going to be honest.
Yeah.
But,
just harassing. Just doing a little bit of harassment.
I think they only got 1 Nexus tower, and now 𝘀𝗀cie are a bit overextended. Vit, having to find a way out, uses his satchel charge well. A bad ult there from Levi. Uncharacteristic mistake there. Collateral damage onto B. Style from the side.
Oh,
Vit goes down. 𝘁𝗏𝗁𝗀 finds the snipe. 𝘁𝗃 going forward. He's gonna die. Woo!
Nothing to take though, so nothing but time bought for GAM. It was a little feisty. You can see 𝘀𝗀cie. They're like, oh my god, we can beat GAM in a 2-0. So they're getting hyped. They're getting over aggressive, looking for this end. They don't need to. They can just sit back, wait for this Baron. It's going to be a little bit rough because they have to wait for their top laner specifically to come back up, because Vit will be up just in time and has the teleport available. But 𝘁𝗃 has to walk, so it's going to be a little bit rough. We're looking at 𝘁𝗃32. He has been a huge difference maker in these fights. But oh my god, they managed to pull Queen.
Yeah, but he's going golden. He's a talent. He buys so much time, but might not be enough. He gets the jump. He taken down. Levi goes low off the back of it, though. We could still have Blazes carry this fight. The tree turns gold. They're not even going to bother going over there. They're just pushing the wave. They're just going to try and end the game. But
Yeah,
they can't stop the backs. This never works. This never, ever works.
This is This is just throwing in the towel almost.
They're gonna rise alt the wave. This never works.
Cannon has ultimate. He can just instantly clear the wave.
It stops the Baron. It did stop the Baron, I guess. Oh no way. No. They're gonna win. Oh my god, are they just gonna win? Hit the tower, hit the Nexus, 𝘀𝗶𝗃 goes down, Blazes and Vit. They have to find a way to hit the Nexus. One more passive! Oh, he gets the Nexus as he dies! 𝘀𝗀cie take the 2-0 in the absolute most ridiculous way possible!
Absolutely insane! That last auto should never have gotten off. It was the thinnest of margins. Oh my god!
Is GAM goes undefeated.
What? What? This is unbelievable, Marby. This is unbelievable.
This isn't just unbelievable.
How have they just
it's unreasonable. That's not allowed to happen. Oh no.
We need to go. Straight over to our analyst desk. I need to bring in Rebel Fox to give us your thoughts on that game as me and Marby catch our breath.
Of all the ways that this game should have ended, it probably should not have ended with a base race with this Rise realm warping. But the mind games that got played at the end of the game here were kind of nuts because what you saw was like Blazes and Vit were like approaching like they were going to one more on top of this. Then they stalled backs. Then you had like an encroachment on the Baron area, like people were going to show up. And out of nowhere, Blazes just ults an entire wave. It's like the game plan somehow got shrouded from all of GAM except for 𝘀𝗃, who was back to defend. And how did they not see that coming from a mile away? They needed to leave that Baron alone and just walk back to their base, retake it, push back Blazes and Vit. Like they have no way of taking it otherwise. And yet they fall victim to the classic blunder somehow, and they end up losing their base.
Well, we do have a replay of those dying moments, so Rebel, I'm going to let you talk us through it, because me and Marby were kind of blown away. As you can see, GAM is on Baron, but Blazes has other ideas.
Yeah, so they start by stopping the back, and then Blazes dips out of vision immediately, and then he walks back into vision. You can see 𝘀𝗃, he took the ultimate and some damage from Graves, which forced him back, and this is when the Realm Warp came through. So all of GAM had been like, okay, we got 𝘀𝗃 back, we have our ability around Baron, they have no one to contest, let's just stay on Baron, and it's right then that Blazes makes the decision and goes, okay, we're going to ult now, and we're going to go for the base, and it goes really close because that allowed for Style to get back behind the pit, and it bought a little bit of time, but they had just enough of it in order to take that base. That last auto attack, I don't know how that ended up hitting.
He was out of CC for about 0.1 of a second when he threw that bomb. Oh my word.
And what's actually crazy is it sort of comes down to satchel charge usage, because your instinct is to just throw it on the tower, try and blow that down faster, but keeping 𝘀𝗃 back means that he can't ult the wave and the champions and just stop them from getting that push down. It's the barest, it's the smallest of margins. It's just ridiculous.
Incredible.
Wow. That was absurd. Trying to de-stress for a moment, 𝘀𝗀cie have just beaten GAM 2-0. GAM are now 0-2. This is undefeated, a very bad start. Yeah, undefeated, by the way. Thanks, Clockwork. 𝘀𝗃. This is kind of nuts. And GAM is not a stranger to starting off slow. They did it in spring as well, and they won that split. But losing to 𝘀𝗀cie is a huge upset.
That either speaks to the fact that GAM is really struggling, which I think is part of the deal, but it also gives monumentous belief behind 𝘀𝗀cie now. Like, walking into that first series, when we saw 𝘀𝗀cie win, we were like, okay, they look good. We don't know how they're going to look against the best teams. We saw them play against what should be one of the best teams and just outright destroy them. And specifically, like, the fact that like 𝘀𝗃 was just all over Levi the entire series. Levi had his own game plan going, but Killer Queen just ran the map. Like, it was insane how much like control that they had just because of the jungle difference in position. It was so crazy just how good 𝘀🐶☰ has looked over the last 2 series. We still need to see them against like Cerberus and Saigon and all these other teams, but man, 𝘀🐶☰ is they're making me breathe the hopium right now a little bit.
I mean,
that's-
they are in sole possession of first place, not just tied. Like,
Because of
obviously,
game score.
Exactly. It's only week 1, so maybe there's a tie. No, they are first. There's no one else tied with them. 𝘀🐶☰ are 4-0 in games.
It's actually insane. I mean, I saw this roster and thought, okay, yeah, look, Coded's a huge upgrade over 𝐻𝗀, no Sorn, great. Bot lane, I was not expecting the bot lane to improve this, to be this good. I expected terrible things from this bot lane, to be perfectly honest, on paper from their previous showings. Even just in spring promotion, they looked really bad, but something's happened in 𝘀🐶☰. I think it has to, I can only say, the only link I have is that the Genius Media branding makes you worse. That's the only thing I've got going at the moment.
Yeah,
Because they killed 𝘁 in H3, and it killed 𝘀🐶☰ last year, or in spring rather. I don't know.
Well, I think we have to call it a night because we need to recover. Wow, that was certainly an upset. That was certainly an ending. I hope everyone out there did enjoy the show tonight. I hope you enjoyed the cast. I'm so happy to be back on the mic. Rebel, 𝘁𝗏𝗏, thank you for joining me, you beautiful people. We will be back tomorrow with more VCS action. If you want to support us, please do consider donating to the stream, subscribing to the stream, or donating to our Patreon. If you want to keep up with VCS action, follow our Twitter or join the Discord. It's a nice community. We'll be welcoming there, I promise. We'll see you tomorrow, guys. See you then.
And is GAM goes undefeated.